Hello YouTube. I decided to make this video to show people in the saltwater community that you can have a 10-gallon tank with couple of fish, a sea anemone, and a couple of turbo snails. I read a lot of different things on it. Some of the people at the pet shops told me that, not to overpopulate, the community. We should be good if you only had one or two fish or whatever. You get a lot of different opinions from people in the pet shop. A lot of those people seem like they're inexperienced or just winging it. But as you can see, they're thriving. I've had this tank set up for about a year now, and they're doing really well. All I do is just change out the water like every 2 weeks. And another thing too is that a lot of people say that there's some debate on the water that you should use, as far as like not using tap water or using water from like Meyer or Walmart. But actually I've been using water since I started this from the Meyer down the street, and just taking a 5-gallon container down there and filling it up every 2 weeks. I change about maybe 10% of the water out, mix some instant ocean salt back in it, and it's been good to go. Haven't had really any problems. I did have an algae outbreak there for a minute, and I had to cut the light off and keep doing water changes, and eventually that went away. As you can see, my sand bed is totally clear now. Starting to show some signs of coralline algae growing on the rocks, on the turbo snails. They say it's something you don't want to get started. They say that coralline algae will take over the tank and be all over everything, so I'm not quite sure about that, trying to cultivate that or not. Got a little spot of it on the glass. But yeah, I've got a little wave maker in there. I got a little heater back there, as you can see, and I run a sponge excuse me, a sponge and phosphate pad removers inside of my quiet flow filter. But other than that, it's nothing special. I do use Sea Chem Prime, which I do promote to anybody in the hobby, because it definitely works. It takes all the stuff out of the water, and if you feel like your parameters might have gotten off a little bit, you can put a few drops in there. I think it says use 2 drops every US gallon. Throw a few drops in there and it'll bounce right back. And but other than that, that's pretty much it. Blue damsel. It's kind of feisty, not really good for to be in a tank with the clownfish. Sometimes it snips at the clownfish's fins, so they're not really good tank mates. But my wife bought it. She didn't really know any better. Now she loves it, so she won't take it back. It's really pretty though. But that's all. So I mean, if you want to get into the hobby and you're thinking that you need an elaborate setup to get going, you definitely don't. You can start with something like this. As you can see, it's not a very big tank. 10 gallons it's a pretty small tank, but it's been doing great. Anyway, thank you.